Here's the thing, the devil always overpromises and under-delivers. Instead of good times and being carefree, you find yourself alone and empty. But there's good news. The good news is that's why Jesus came. Amen? See, Jesus came, born of a virgin, lived a perfect life. He healed the sick, he fed the hungry, and he raised the dead to life. Now, the religious rulers really didn't like the way Jesus lived his life. In fact, these religious rulers, they wanted to kill him. So, Jesus was arrested. He was taken and stood before Pilate. And it was Pilate that would then decide his fate.
Ye have brought this man unto me as one that perverteth the people. I have examined him before you, and find no fault with this man touching those things whereof you accuse him. I have sent him to Herod. He has found that nothing worthy of death has been done. I will therefore chastise him and release him. According to your custom, at this time of year, one prisoner shall be released.
Barabbas.
Free Barabbas.
What shall I do then with Jesus, who is called the Christ?
Crucify him.
I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it.
Bible tells us that Jesus was sentenced to be flogged. And in John 19:1, it says, then Pilate took Jesus and he had him flogged. That short, simple sentence needed no explanation at the time. Everyone knew what was about to happen to Jesus. He was about to endure one of the worst punishments known to man at the time. Historically, flogging would mean being lashed and whipped with a cat of nine tails, with on the end having these bones or chips or metal or stones and being whipped. Now, the Romans, they had 3 levels of flogging that would happen. The first level was for the lowest level or the not too bad, and then level 2, it got a little worse, and level 3 was reserved only for the criminals that were sentenced to be crucified. Now, scholars believe either one of 2 things happened. They believe, because as you just watched, Pilate really didn't want to crucify Jesus. So some believe that Pilate just ordered the level 1 flogging in hopes that it would appease these religious rulers and then let Jesus go. But then seeing that it didn't appease them, he then went ahead and ordered the level 3 flogging and had him crucified. Or scholars believe he just ordered the level 3 and was crucified. Either way, Jesus endured one of the worst punishments known. And these Roman soldiers, as they beat Jesus, they knew exactly, like they were experienced. They had this down to a science. They knew exactly how hard they could whip Jesus. How many times they could pull the skin off of his back, how many times in the same spot, because their goal was to leave that criminal inches away from death. That's what they wanted. Jesus endured one of the worst punishments known to man. Jesus, the Son of God, paid a price for my sin and for yours. The Bible tells us in John chapter 19, verse 16 and 17, that finally Pilate handed him over to be crucified. So the soldiers took charge of Jesus, carrying his own cross. He went out to the place of the skull. After this excruciating punishment, Jesus carried his own cross. After being beaten, after being flogged, Jesus walked the road to Calvary. You see, Jesus' road to Calvary is our road home. Jesus' road to Calvary is our salvation. We can have salvation because Jesus carried his cross, took a beating like no other. Here's the thing about Jesus. Every step that he took, you were on his mind. Every step that Jesus took was out of love for you. Every step that Jesus took was so you could spend eternity in heaven. See, this road to Golgotha is the road that saved my life. This road to Golgotha is the road that saved your life. The Bible tells us in Isaiah that he was pierced for our transgressions, that he was crushed for our iniquities. You see, this should have been me. This should have been you. Jesus paid a debt that I could never pay.